Imagine it's Monday morning, or maybe Tuesday or Thursday. At this point, the days have begun to blur together. The alarm goes off, and although technically you've been in bed for 7 or 8 hours, you feel as if a truck has run you over. You drag yourself to the coffee maker, hoping the caffeine will work a miracle, but the effect lasts barely an hour. By noon, your brain already feels like an overheated processor trying to run too many programs at once. Your eyelids are heavy, your motivation has vanished, and all you want is for the world to stop for a moment so you can breathe. The most frustrating part of this situation isn't just the tiredness, it's the lack of understanding. You tell yourself, I don't get what's wrong. I haven't done anything physically exhausting today. Or even worse, you start to punish yourself, thinking you're lazy, that you lack discipline, or that you're simply not as strong as everyone else. But today, I want to tell you something that will change your perspective. You are not lazy, and your fatigue is not a character flaw. Your tiredness is a biological and psychological response that is perfectly logical in a world that has forgotten how to rest. If you sleep but you're still exhausted, the problem isn't your lack of sleep. The problem is that you're suffering from multidimensional burnout. As a psychologist, I see this every day. We live in a culture that worships productivity, where being busy is a status symbol. But our brain, that wonderful machine between your ears, hasn't evolved at the same speed as technology. We are still running on biological software from thousands of years ago, trying to process 21st century information hardware. To understand why you're always tired, we must first break the myth of energy as gasoline. We aren't cars. If a car runs out of gas, you put more in and it goes. We are systems of balance. We have different energy tanks: the physical, the mental, the emotional, the sensory, and the social. You can have a full physical tank because you've slept, but if your mental tank has a leak the size of an ocean, you're going to feel empty. Let's talk about the science behind that leak. It all starts in a small structure of the brain called the amygdala. It's your threat radar. In ancient times, its job was to warn you if a predator was coming. Today, your amygdala reacts exactly the same way to a passive-aggressive email from your boss, a notification about an unpaid bill, or simply seeing negative news on social media. For your brain, psychological stress is a life-threatening danger. When the amygdala detects these modern threats, it orders the release of cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are designed to give you a burst of energy to fight or flee. But here's the trick. Since you can't run out of your office or get into a fight with your problems, that energy stays trapped in your body. Chronic high cortisol is like leaving your car's lights on all night. Eventually, the battery runs out. This state is known as allostatic load. It's the price your body pays for forcing constant adaptation. It's the wear and tear of trying to stay balanced in an environment that never stops. When your allostatic load is too high, your brain enters an energy-saving mode automatically. You feel lethargic, your memory fails, and you struggle to focus. It's not that you don't want to work, it's that your brain has flipped the switches to avoid a major short circuit. But there's one more factor, one that is rarely discussed: decision fatigue. Every small choice you make, from what clothes to wear to what word to use in a text, consumes glucose in your prefrontal cortex. We live in the era of overstimulation. Every notification on your phone is a micro decision. Do I look now or later? Is it important or not? Multiply this 500 times a day. By the time evening arrives, your decision-making capacity is fried. That's the moment you stare blankly at the computer screen, not knowing what you were doing. You don't cure that by sleeping, you cure it by reducing the cognitive load. So how do we start to get our spark back? We need an energy rescue plan that goes beyond the pillow. The first strategy is what I call closing mental tabs. Think of your brain like a computer with 50 tabs open in the browser. Even if you're only looking at one, the other 49 are consuming RAM in the background. Those are your pending tasks, your I have tos, your unresolved worries. The brain spends immense energy trying not to forget something. To fix this, use the external download technique. Write everything on your mind into a physical list. Don't trust your memory. By putting it on paper, you give your brain permission to close the tab. You'll feel almost instant relief, as if a heavy backpack was taken off. The second strategy is sensory fasting. We are constantly bombarded by LED lights, notification sounds, traffic, and advertising. Your nervous system is on high alert, processing stimuli. Real rest isn't just closing your eyes, it's turning off the stimuli. Try spending 10 minutes a day in total silence, without screens, without music, without reading. Just you and the silence. It might feel uncomfortable at first because your brain is addicted to the dopamine of notifications, but it's the only way for your sensory system to reset. The third tool is the regulation of mirror neurons. If you spend a lot of time with people who are always stressed, complaining, or draining energy, you will end up the same way. Thanks to mirror neurons, we absorb the emotional state of others. Empathy fatigue is real. If you are an especially sensitive or empathetic person, this is probably your biggest energy drain. You need to set boundaries. It's not about stopping being compassionate, but about understanding that you can't be everyone the emotional dumping ground if you want to maintain your own mental health. Learn to say, "Today, I don't have the emotional capacity to process this," and do it without guilt. It's also vital to talk about active rest. Sometimes the best way to rest isn't staying still. If your tiredness is mental, the rest should be physical or creative. Going for a walk in nature without your phone, painting something without looking for perfection, or cooking a new recipe activates parts of your brain that have been dormant while you use the logical and stressed parts. It's like changing the channel. You give your stress center a break while nourishing your pleasure center. I want to make a special mention of self-compassion. In our society, rest is often seen as a prize you earn after working hard. If I finish everything, then I can rest. The problem is the work never ends. Rest is not a prize, it's a biological necessity prior to performance. You can't ask a field to bear fruit if you never let it rest. If you feel exhausted today, don't be hard on yourself. Don't tell yourself you're a failure. Talk to yourself like you would a friend going through a tough time. Sometimes, the most productive thing you can do all day is take a 20-minute nap or decide that today's email can wait till tomorrow. Before we say goodbye, remember this. Your value as a human being doesn't depend on how many things you cross off your to-do list. You are not a production machine. You are a person with rhythms, with seasons, and with limits. Being tired is your body's way of telling you that it loves you, that it wants to protect you, and that it needs you to reconnect with yourself. If this message has helped you understand yourself a little bit better, I invite you to give yourself permission to rest today, for real. Don't just sleep, rest your mind, your heart, and your senses. The world can wait a few minutes, but your mental health cannot. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for allowing yourself this space for reflection. If you want to keep exploring the depths of your mind and discover how to live a more balanced and conscious life, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one to keep growing together. Take care of your energy because it's the most valuable thing you have.